welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary, and this, of course, is not David. So David and Michelle are taking my mom out for dinner tonight. They're going to be heading up to Santa Rosa, and they're having tapas. So Dave's going to be kind of busy today. So it's about 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. It's glorious out here. It's probably about 75 degrees or so outside. It's probably about 22, 23 Celsius, just off the top of my head. Just a nice day. So I wanted to do a reading on Pope Leo the 14th. He recently came out some messaging criticizing how international law is being handled. Specifically, although he didn't mention necessarily by name, he was referencing the wars going on in Ukraine, Gaza, and in the Middle East in general. And here's some of the quotes that he had. He's concerned over the rhetoric used by international leaders to justify violence and the law of the strongest. In regards to Ukraine, Gaza, and the Middle East, he was quoted as saying, "It is up to all of us, humanity, to examine the causes of these conflicts, identify the real ones, and work to overcome them, and to reject the false ones, which are the result of emotional simulations and empty rhetoric. People must not die because of fake news. How can we continue to betray the people's desire for peace with false propaganda, promoting rearmament under the vain illusion that supremacy will solve problems rather than fuel hatred and revenge? It is disheartening to see that the strength of international humanitarian law no longer seems binding, and that is being replaced by the supposed right to force others through strength. War does not solve problems. Rather, it amplifies them and creates deep wounds in the history of people, which takes generations to heal." And I mean, he just nails it. Every one of those quotes just nails it. The one that was really resonating with me was, having false propaganda out there, getting people fearful and making them take actions based on false propaganda and the illusion that supremacy will solve problems rather than fuel hatred and revenge. And that's what it does when you put out that false narrative out there and you get people riled up, and then they start, you're fueling their hatred and the revenge, and we're caught, and it's not just Ukraine, Gaza, and the Middle East. It's the American political environment, totally. Fox News, they take every single opportunity, and Trump as well, to just slam the Democrats. They just, whatever they can, they slam the Democrats, and they are stoking fear of the Republicans and mostly the MAGA, and then they want to exact the revenge. And then, of course, that happens on the Democrat side. We see the atrocious behavior by MAGA, and then we've got some of our favorite news sources stoking the fear, and the revenge loop on our side takes in. And at this point, no one's listening anymore. It's just waiting for your opportunity to talk and exact revenge. I'm not saying they're equal. I'm not saying that our revenge is better than their revenge, or that their rhetoric is more harmful than ours. But what I'm saying is both sides are getting it. And at some point, we need to unplug from that. And we just need to take a deep breath and relax. And it's really, really, really hard, especially when you've got a leader out there that is stoking this big time. And the only way we're really going to break out of this is when that leader is gone. And a health rating will be coming up on that. But for right now, let's focus on the messaging from Pope Leo the 14th. I want to look at the energy around the Pope and his message. And is it starting to resonate? I mean, it's one thing to have the message, but if there's nobody listening, then it doesn't really do much good, does it? But let's see. Is the Pope's messaging, is it resonating? Let's just start with that for entertainment purposes only. Okay, is the Pope's messaging resonating? Okay, let's see. Okay, so there's the kind of the foundation of it. That is his messaging. It's about it's the Three of Swords: heartbreak, betrayal. You know, this is your false news. This is your false narrative that's causing people to die because of fake news. It's fueling hatred and revenge. The challenge is the Eight of Cups. What the hard part is turning off our emotions and walking away from the rhetoric. Underneath it, the energy we're not seeing is the Five of Swords. This type of messaging is a win at all costs. I win, you lose. There's no win-win solutions in this kind of rhetoric. It's, you know, either we win or we lose type of messaging, all or nothing. You know, it's kind of, this card's also, you keep fighting when you should be stopping. You don't know when to quit. Does that sound like anyone we know? In the past, we had the Three of Wands. This I'm going to define this or interpret this as the Pope looking at what's happening in distant lands, whether it's in Gaza, it's in the United States, it's in Iran. Current energy is strength, showing strength through peace, through calm, through love. You know, this is a very peaceful card. There's no one's fighting here. This is just showing your strength through love, as opposed to showing your strength through military might and rhetoric. Overarching energy is the Wheel of Fortune. So how is this going to end? We don't know. It's still to be determined. The lesson to be learned. The Two of Pentacles. This is kind of, you know, the trying that balancing act. Since we're trying to see, is the Pope's message resonating? It's hard to say. You know, the red hats on one hand, they say they're such good Christians, so the Pope's messaging should resonate quite readily, right? If you believe in Christ and you believe in God, these are definitely the words of God. Yet their actions don't seem to support that, do they? They're so willing to hate, and they're so willing to seek revenge. You know, I think that's really the target of the message is the people that are evangelical. Out comes the Knight of Cups. It's a peace offering. It's an offering of peace. That's his whole messaging. It's about peace and love. All right, so is it resonating? Well, I think this message is more, what is the messaging and who's it targeting? So it might not answer the question if it is resonating, but certainly we know who it needs to resonate with in order for it to make progress, right? My next question was, will this type of messaging cause the changes looking for, as more forceful messaging required? In other words, is this the messaging that the Red Hats need to get them out of the revenge and hatred loop that they're in? Okay, let's take a look at that. Is this the messaging that's needed, and will it be effective getting the Red Hats out of their revenge and hatred mode that they are currently finding themselves in? Okay, just want to give it one more shuffle. This will annoy the shit out of David if he's watching this, but he's not watching it, so I'll get away with it. Okay, foundation of the reading. High Priestess. Okay, so we've got to me this card it's all about a higher energy. It's like, if you're asking the right questions, get rid of there's some mystery there, but if you ask the right questions, you get the right answer. So is this the type of messaging that the Red Hats need to get them to change? It might be. It's certainly a calmness. The challenge is the Four of Cups rather. It's you got your emotions that they're so used to, right? That the outrage and the anger and the revenge. There's another emotion on offer, How about peace and love as an emotion? How about forgiveness? How about compassion? There are other emotions out there. You don't have to be fearful all the time. You don't have to be so self-righteous. Energy underneath it is the Chariot. This is slow progression. This is a victory. This is a victory type card. It's moving forward. It's something that won't be denied. So is this a type of messaging that'll cause a change? Yes, it will eventually. But this might not be fast enough. Let's keep going. In the past, you've got the Knight of Swords. This is just, all of us feel this, but this is what happens when all your rhetoric is designed to cause you fear, designed to cause you anger and revenge and sadness. How many of us have wanted to unplug from the news, from mainstream corporate media? I bet you every single person watching this at some point or another has either unplugged or has wanted to, because it's just the way the news is coming out. There's nothing that's comforting. It's all designed to create anxiety and stress. Current energy is the Fool. Well, it's a new message, a new journey, the beginning of a new journey, if you will. We'll see. This is a major arcana. This is about trying something new. Will the messaging resonate, or will it go off a cliff? Overarching energy is the Eight of Swords. People who just don't think that there's any way out of this, that this cycle is designed to continue going forward and forward and forward. That take off your blindfold, take off the chains that bind you. To me, this is the turn off the news card, because they're not giving you a good way out. They're just giving you doom and gloom. The lesson to be learned, Knight of Swords. Don't be rash in your decision making. Don't rush to judgment. I would have much rather had that in the current energy. This would be like the messaging is charging forward with reckless abandon. What's the outcome? Nine of Wands. Just tired of the fighting, tired of the battling. You're so fatigued. I mean, it really goes well with the Nine of Swords card. Is the message resonating with MAGA and the evangelicals? It is, but it's not going to be fast enough, I fear. I just don't think it's going to be fast enough. Let's get some clarifiers on the Nine of Wands. Okay, so this is about battles and being tired of battles. You've got the Four of Pentacles. This is about Trump's messaging and trying to keep a hold on power. The messaging that's on corporate media regarding Trump and his beliefs. And we should be balancing. This is kind of a healing card. This is someone who's just tired of fighting. And they're fighting because dear leader keeps telling them they need to fight, fight, fight. But what they really want is they really want some peace in their life. Ironically, to me, this tells me that Trump fatigue is starting to settle in on them as well. And maybe the Pope's message is something that finally gives them some relief from all of the fear and hatred that Trump espouses in his messaging. There's nothing positive in it. It's all about punching down, giving people someone to punch down on, make you feel better because there's someone that you can punch down on. Let's do one more. Will the Pope's messaging need to change in order for all of us to finally achieve the change? Or is this good enough? Or let's just say, does the Pope need to do more forceful messaging to break through MAGA and the Trump fatigue? Is more forceful messaging required? Let's just be a little four-carder. Okay. Queen of Pentacles. You need to take care of everyone around you. This is it's a kind of a nurturing card. This is actually my favorite card in the whole deck. This is about caring. This is about nurturing. This is about taking care of others. There's your chariot. He's going to continue with this type of messaging about being loving and being caring with people around you. Two of Wands, high vibration, low vibration. You have a choice. How do you want your future to look? Wheel of Fortune, but the future is uncertain. And the energy underneath is getting these people that are on the outside and getting them back into the fold. To me, this is corporate media. This is the oligarchs having all the things of value, and basically their messaging is othering people. And the Pope's message is, we don't need to other people. We need to take care of them. And this message needs to move forward. And, think about what this future is going to look like, taking care of these people that are being outed, that are being othered. But it remains to be seen what that means. The Wheel of Fortune, a little more clarification. What are we waiting for? What's up in the air about that? Actions that are being taken overseas. People trying to get their emotions under control. And just showing kindness to people. Let's keep going. Oh, there you go. There's their first major arcana. But there's a hidden truth that needs to be revealed. So that's what the Wheel of Fortune is. It's just, we got to calm the frick down. If we calm down, we'll do it. If we continue to be outraged, this will take a lot longer. All right, that's what I've got for you. So thank you so much for watching. Dave and I will be back tomorrow. I have a hunch tomorrow's reading is going to be coming out on Monday. So we'll record on Sunday. We'll put one out on Monday. Anonymous is supposed to be putting out messaging around June 30th, July 1st. They were supposed to release whatever information they had that was going to be very impactful. So we'll do a reading to see if, are they actually going to produce some receipts, or are they just blowing sunshine up our backsides, right? Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe and hit the bell. We'll wake you up at midnight Pacific time. I'll be asleep, but you'll be awake watching it. And leave a comment. I read them all and respond to many. And unlike those other bargain basement Twin Tarot with Gary David channels that actually have Gary and David both on it versus a stuffed animal with blue glasses that's supposed to trick you into think that David's here, we actually give shout outs to our viewers. And we've got, let's see, I'm just going to take some of the people that have recently joined the chat here. Josie Hardy, who has left 5 comments. And Josie, thank you so much for joining us. What was her comment? Josie's comment was, totally roasting Krasnov. Thank you, Gary and David. Yeah, that was the Mark Rutta. They're referring to Mark Rutta roasting Krasnov. Okay, so we're going to give you, Josie, the 9 of Cups. That's kind of that hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. Let's see, has anyone made thoughtful contributions to the channel? Why do I have a picture of my cat? Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. All right, let's keep going. All right. All right. Okay, Cricket Walton, also fairly new to the channel. So Cricket, thank you so much for your kind comment. What was your comment, Cricket? Bless Daddy's heart. Yes, and Cricket, you get the chariot. Yes, that's the truth that's moving forward. Although I think, frankly, he was using a metaphor about Daddy. I certainly hope he wasn't calling Trump Daddy. Oh, my goodness. And then we'll wrap it up with a shout out to Connie Williamson. Hi, Connie. Connie's been has got 48 comments. Oh, Connie's been lighting up the comment section there. Connie's trolling me. Is Gary on dial-up? No, I'm not on dial-up. I'm in the shed, and we have an Ethernet cable in the shed. And when the computer decides to stay on the Ethernet cable, I have great connection. But sometimes it jumps off the Ethernet cable and goes to Wi-Fi. And the shed is just far enough away from the house that when you go onto Wi-Fi, I run into issues with the live streaming software that Dave and I use when we record these. So when I'm inside the kitchen, it's not a problem. But we had a whole bunch of people over when Dave and I recorded last time, so I had to hop out into the shed. And I was doing great until I guess the computer decided it wanted Wi-Fi instead of Ethernet. It just caused all sorts of issues. So Connie, I know it's a heartbreak, but I am not on dial-up. Although I'm old enough to remember what the modems used to sound like, right? So thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad that you joined us. And a secret card for the rest of us. 10 of Pentacles, show me the money. Yeah. Donate lots of money so I can improve my Ethernet cable connection here, right? Have a great day, folks. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and Dave and I will join you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.